Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can, Katie.
This meeting is being recorded.
I'm just going to mute you down for now. We're going to get into it. So,
Yeah.
welcome, ladies, to Danielle's Momentum group tonight. She's asked me to take it in her absence while she's in Bali. So obviously Kimberly and Joanne know me well. Katie, I don't know if we've met before. You might have been in one of the healings in another one of Danielle's groups I've done. Group healings I've done for her, but just really top level. I'm an intuitive energy healer, and I love working with purpose-driven women to really help them reach their next level of success. So let's, because we're running a little bit late tonight, we're just going to get straight into it. So ladies, all I want you to focus on tonight is just receiving and relaxing. So please, you can get comfortable, you can lie down, if that feels more comfortable, eyes open, closed, cameras on, cameras off, whatever feels best for you. And throughout the healing today, you may feel some slight vibrations, and you may not. The healing is intentionally very, very gentle, yet it's very powerful because it works at the most micro of levels, at the cellular level. Okay, so we are going to start working with fear. So this was something that Katie wanted some support around. So specifically the fear of fear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sending healing just for anything that you will need in this moment, and in this moment, and in this moment, and in this moment. And I'm up leveling your healing again and again and again. And I'm just going to invite you all to take a couple of deep breaths and just let go of the day. Let go of the day that has been. Letting yourself relax. If you're holding any tension anywhere, just consciously sending some breath, some energy to that area in the body, just to support it to relax and open. The more our bodies are relaxed, the more that we can heal, the faster we heal. And so just working with that breath for the next 20 to 25 minutes, just to support yourself to open further and to heal faster. Okay. So I'm sending healing for fear, and the fear of, and fear, and fear of, and the fear, and the fear, and the fear of, and the fear of, and the fear of, and the fear of. And fear is this really interesting kind of emotion. It can either drive people forward or it can be paralyzing. So it sort of has this pendulum. Some people thrive on the fear of, and some people it becomes very paralyzing and very overwhelming, and we don't know what our next step is or what we should do. So I'm sending healing for any fear that causes this kind of paralysis in our system, in our body, in our ability to take actions and to really move forward in life in a powerful way. Fear trips us up from doing that. Fear takes us off our path of taking the steps that are in our best and highest. So I'm sending up-leveled healing for fear of, and the 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 fear of. And the fear of fear, and I'm up-leveling the healing and just relaxing your body even further, Katie, just to really allow yourself to receive, and letting go of any tension and any stress connected to, oh, I can't get on and I can't get on, and that whole Wi-Fi thing, which we all encounter from time to time, right? So just really allowing yourself to relax. And just remembering that there's nothing to do right now, but just to allow yourself to receive. It's the only thing that there is to do right now. Okay, now we're going to look at blocks connected to taking risks, other words that you've used, Katie's blocks connected to taking risks. What I would say is blocks connected to taking the step that is in my next best and highest. That is in my next best and highest. If we're always taking steps that are in our next best and highest, there is no risk. There is no risk. So we always want to be checking what is in my next best and highest, and what is in my next best and highest, and what is in my next best and highest. And one way that we can do that is by asking these curiosity kind of forming questions like, what is in my next best and highest? And then it isn't a risk because it's in your best and highest. So that word risky is kind of risky anyway. So let's let go of that word and the connotations evolved with, connected to that word. And let's instead look at really taking actions and making decisions and choices, not from a place of fear, but rather from a place of what is in my next best and highest. What is in my business's next best and highest? What is in my family's next best and highest? What is in this relationship's next best and highest? What is in the best and highest for my children or my child? Okay, and that's healing faster now. Okay, so there's also a fear around that current situation sort of disintegrating and then ending up with little money or energy or time for your children, for yourself. Fear of the fear of the fear of the fear of it all falling apart. So I'm sending up-leveled healing for the fear of it's all going to fall apart, or it's somehow going to run out. It's somehow going to run out or end, or there's like an end point to this. And so I'm sending up-leveled healing and breakthrough healing to heal any stuck areas connected to current situation, disintegrating, falling apart, ending, can't continue, fall flat on my face, and the fear of falling flat on my face. And I'm sending up-leveled healing for falling flat, and falling flat on my face. Okay, and I'm just going to invite you to relax even further, Katie. And of course, when we're working with one person, everyone in a group situation, everyone is receiving the healing. The more we relax, the more our parasympathetic nervous system switches on. And the more that we're in that rest, that digest, that relaxation state, the more we can heal, and the more we heal, and the faster we heal, and the faster we heal, and we faster we heal. So having that 5-minute practice a day where you really switch that parasympathetic nervous system on is hugely beneficial to healing, energetically, but also physically. And if you can take longer than 5 minutes, take longer than 5 minutes, but we do what we can, and we do what we can. So So I'm just going to send some breakthrough healing for fear. It's really interesting. What came through is bust up the fear. It's sort of like this fear is almost like a rock, right? It's like like an actual formation of a rock. So it's like there's some busting up of this fear that is required. And fear is also connected to worry. And so I'm sending healing for worry. And I'm sending up-leveled healing just to start to disintegrate this. What's formed as matter. When we have a really strong, energetic emotion, it can actually start to create matter in our system, like these little formations. But they are absolutely healable. And so I'm sending up-leveled healing and breakthrough healing for fear and the 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 fear. And Katie, when I'm talking fast like that, it's because a lot of the fear is clearing and it's clearing and it's clearing and it's clearing and it's clearing. And the fear of 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 layers and layers and layers of fear. A healing and clearing. And as more is found, more is healed and cleared. And as more fear is found, more is healed and cleared. And as more fear is found, more is healed and cleared. And it is releasing from your system. And the more that you can relax, the more that you can switch on that parasympathetic nervous system, the more will heal from your system. Sending some healing for some mental, almost what I would call anguish isn't quite the right word, but it's like mental sort of confusion. Almost what I would say is like this. Yeah, it's like a mental block. It's like, no, this is the way it is, right? You have to be fearful to survive, or whatever the story is. So I'm sending healing for that mental construct, that mental story, that mental belief that is having fear survive and thrive, that is feeding the fear in a sense. It's feeding the fear. It's like, yeah. So I'm sending healing for that. Okay, so let's look at transitioning. And transitioning and change and transitioning and change and transitioning and change and transitioning in career, business, and up leveling in career and business. And the fear of, well, will I get in my own way and will I trip myself off? Will I self-sabotage it? Or will I do something wrong? Or will I just mess it all up? And so I'm sending healing for that again and again and again and again and again and again. For there's sort of this sense of like, if you're sort of running, but your body gets ahead of itself and then your feet are trying to like keep up below. There's that kind of sense. So I'm just sending healing for this. The body moving faster than the feet. So really going over, and when you go over, you go out of balance and you can topple forward. So just coming back and really taking that time to center yourself. And this is a thing, in business and career and jobs, it can get so busy. And so this is what I really encourage you to do is when, even parenting, especially parenting, actually finding those moments throughout the day, those 5-minute moments, or even just that breath where you take and you stop and you're present rather than being in your head and, being stuck in systems or stuck in sales calls or stuck in whatever it is, right? Or stuck in contracts and sales contracts. Just finding these little moments throughout the day where you can be present, where you can treat them like a form of a type of ritual or even a type of ceremony. And this doesn't have to be something big and elaborate. It can be just simply taking the time to stop and just taking in 3 deep breaths and then moving on with the day, and then moving on with the day, and then moving on with the day. But in those small moments that you capture of ceremony, or of ritual throughout your day, really enjoying them and really noticing them, and really being really grateful that in this moment I'm present. And now I know I have to go and get my head into systems and stuff and completion. But right now, in this moment, I'm present, and it might be 5 seconds, it might be 10 seconds, it might be 1 minute, it might be 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's about finding those moments and bringing that presence, that awareness into your day so that you don't topple over. Kimberly, it's feeling really clear, and it's just a fear. And so if we go back to fear, the fear that I could muck it up, or I could do this, or I could do that, or I could self-sabotage it, it's all just fear, right? It's all fear and it's all worry. So it's just a slightly different flavor to Katie's. With you, Joanne, it's more the fear around, the performance aspect in your role. And so I'm sending healing for fear of performing, the fear of underperforming, the fear of sabotaging, the fear of tripping over one's own shoelaces, the fear of falling flat on one's face, the fear of what if it's too much? What if I can't take it? What if it was the wrong step? What if it was the wrong step? What if this is not the path I should have taken? What if it doesn't turn out to be all that I wanted it to be? And so I'm sending up-leveled healing for any of those little niggly fears that get triggered when we are up-leveling. So it's quite common for this to happen when we're going through that transition stage, when we're going through that up-leveling stage. Like you were just talking about before we started recording, Kimberly, it's like that self-sabotage brings us back to like our baseline, brings us back to the baseline. So that's what it's doing. It's like I'm up leveling. Oh, I need to bring myself back to my baseline because that's where I'm comfortable. So it's really about being aware of the triggers, of the this is just trying to bring me back down to my baseline. I understand what's happening. It's just a trigger, and I'm choosing to let it go. And in those moments, are really powerful moments, to grab those moments of ritual, to grab those moments of ceremony where you can stop and take a breath, or you can make yourself a lovely cup of tea or a beautiful coffee, or something to eat, or you can go outside and just take a big fresh breath, or look at the trees or whatever for 2 minutes. So they're really good times. One thing that I find really beneficial with fear is tapping, because fear can be very, very paralyzing in the body. So it can get stuck in our systems. So if you have done any EFT tapping, I find this to be really beneficial. And EFT is the emotional freedom technique. And all you need to do is just to tap on this karate chop point here and just say whatever you're fearful of in that moment, even though I'm afraid that I'm going to self-sabotage this new job, or I always get in my way, or I always put blocks in my way when I'm transitioning, or I'm going to make this harder than it needs to be, or I'm going to fall flat on my face, or I'm going to underperform, or whatever. For you, Katie, it might be, even though I'm afraid that the money's going to run out and I'm not going to be able to support my kids, I'm choosing to let that go. I'm choosing to let that fear go. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and respect myself. I find when it's a really strong emotion like fear, like anxiety, like worry, tapping is really powerful to shift it quickly. And what's so great about it is that you can just be standing in line at the supermarket and you might have had a fear trigger come up, and you can just stand in line and you can just tap on that karate chop point and no one will even know, and you can just quietly in your mind, even though I'm feeling fear right now, you don't have to say it out loud, obviously. I'm choosing to let it go. And in that moment, you're healing it and moving it through your body, through your system, so it is not getting stuck. We do not want fear to get stuck in your system. So I find tapping to be a really powerful antidote to fear, and then bring in the energy healing, and then bring in the energy healing, and then bring in the energy healing. And there is actually a healing in the Healing Collective on clearing the fear of the unknown. It was the January healing. Katie, I don't think you're part of that group. What I will do is I've got you on Messenger, so I'll send you an invite to that group, and go back, and if fear is coming up, tap first, and then go and listen to that healing and allow yourself to fall asleep to it, or on your morning walk, listen to it, or when you're cooking dinner or doing the dishes, whenever. Just allow yourself to heal, and allow yourself to heal, and allow yourself to heal. And the more that you heal and clear, the more that you heal and clear, the more that you heal and clear, the more we'll heal and clear. Yes, fear also gets stored in our stomach. So shoulders is other parts of our body, but often for women, really we can clench our stomach. So just really relaxing the belly, noticing if you're holding any fear there, and just letting your belly be really soft, and taking some big deep belly breaths can also be really supportive if fear does get triggered during the day. Okay. So I just want to check in firstly with you, Katie, and just see how you're going, and see if you have any questions before we complete.
No, no, that's all really great. I think I'm definitely going to look at the tapping. And I love finding new things to listen to going to sleep. That'll help.
Okay. Anything in the area of support, Katie, before we close down for the evening?
Sorry, I missed that.
Is there any other like little area that you would just like a little bit of extra support on before we close down for the evening?
I think fear's my big one. Maybe the other one is patience.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just sending you some support for patience.
Thank Thank you.
There's a really great book called The Surrender Experiment.
I just finished that. Danielle recommended it for me. I have a hard time with surrendering, so it's been a learning experience for sure.
Yeah. So on Joanne, on the energetic scale, worry and fear are energetically slightly different. Fear vibrates at around 100. I can't remember off the top of my head where worry vibrates energetically, but it is a bit higher than fear. So love vibrates at 500. When I talk about the emotional energetic scale, I'm talking about Dr. David Hawkins' emotional energetic scale. Fear is more paralyzing. Worry is more based in self-sabotage. But they are very connected. They are very good friends, let's say. Worry and fear. Worry creates self-doubt, second guessing, whereas fear creates paralysis, or it can do the other and propel you forward. So you're like, it propels people forward who are more, I would say, the A-type personalities, the real, like, people who really thrive on stress. My brother really thrives on stress. So, but again, fear can have, a paralyzing impact on that. It definitely puts us in that fight, flight, or freeze response. Fear does. So that's a paralysis, is that freeze. But they're both constructed in our minds. Fear sometimes is very real. If we're running from a predator, for example, that's a very real fear. But most of the fear that we live on in our day-to-day life is something that we're projecting out into the future, or we're worrying about our past, or we're worrying about our future. It's not a danger that we have to deal with right in this moment, right now, not normally. Okay, Kimberly, anything from you before we complete?
No, thank you. I feel at peace this evening.
Okay, good. So we have 5 minutes over, just because we started a little bit late. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all support to clear whatever is ready to heal and clear from your system. And an ongoing, and sort of this moment by moment, you'll hear me talk about this moment by moment practice. So it heals and clears, and we're healing and clearing so fast in our system, like so fast. Thousands of layers can heal and clear in a nanosecond. And so in this moment by moment practice, this moment by moment healing journey, what I'm doing is I'm sending you all support. And this is just for you, perfect for you, healing, to heal and clear exactly what is ready to be healed and cleared for you in this moment, and in this moment, and in this moment. Okay, lovely ladies. Sleep deep tonight, rest well. And I have a group healing this Thursday in the group. So I know you can't make it, Kimberly, but you can catch a replay if you'd like to. Lots of love, ladies. Ciao.
Thanks, Sarah. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
darling.
Bye. Bye, Katie.